It started with curiosity. Two electric giants, two completely different philosophies. I had a weekend, a full charge, and two of the most advanced electric cars on the market, the Tesla Model S and the BMW i7. The first day belonged to Tesla. The Model S doesn't greet you with a rumble. There's no engine, no key twist, no ceremony. It just knows you're there. You slide in, and suddenly you're in a world where buttons barely exist. There's a yoke steering wheel, a massive center screen, and a sense that you've just stepped into a piece of software that happens to have wheels. Driving the Model S is like being handed the future on a silver platter. Only the silver is aluminum. The platter is carbon fiber, and the future is blisteringly fast. I barely touched the accelerator, and the car leapt forward like a cheetah that had just been set free. It didn't hesitate. It didn't rev. It just moved fast, quiet, and violently smooth. 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds in the Plaid version feels less like acceleration and more like teleportation. But it's not just the speed. What struck me was how much of the Tesla experience wasn't about driving. It was about data, about systems. It anticipated traffic better than any app I've ever used. It changed lanes with more confidence than some human drivers. The autopilot wasn't perfect, but it was always thinking, always adjusting. Driving the Tesla felt like I was assisting the car, not the other way around. But then, the next morning, I met the i7. The BMW i7 doesn't try to look futuristic. It's bold, yes, with a design that you either admire or question. But when the door closed behind me, the silence was immediate, dense, comforting, like the world had been put on mute. BMW wasn't trying to be a tech company. It was being BMW, only electric, and that was refreshing. The interior was a masterclass in modern luxury. Crystal accents, ambient lighting that pulsed gently with the rhythm of the drive, leather so soft it felt like it had been whispered into existence. I didn't want to press the start button. I wanted to ask it for permission, and then I drove it, smooth, balanced, confident. The i7 doesn't throw you into the seat. It glides. It breathes. The power is there and plenty of it, but it's refined. Where the Tesla was shouting, "Look what I can do," the BMW calmly said, "I've got you." On the highway, BMW's driver assist was seamless. The car didn't twitch. It didn't hesitate. It held the lane with the calm precision of a surgeon. The steering had weight. The response felt organic. I was in control, but I didn't have to work for it. And then there was a theater screen. Yes, that screen, the massive 31-inch fold-down display in the back. The moment I turned it on, the cabin transformed into a private cinema. Rear seats reclined. Shades rose. Sound enveloped me. If Tesla is a laptop on wheels, the i7 is a luxury suite that moves. 2 days, 2 cars, 2 entirely different visions of what the future looks like. Tesla gave me speed, instant response, and a glimpse of the software-first world we're heading into. It was exhilarating. It was minimalist. And at times, it felt like I was beta testing the future. BMW gave me comfort, craftsmanship, and a sense of timelessness. It didn't want to be new for the sake of it. It wanted to evolve, not reinvent. And in that restraint, there was beauty. I realized something as I handed the keys back. The Tesla is a car for people who love tech, who want to live ahead of the curve, who are okay with some software quirks if it means they get the latest and greatest first. The BMW i7 is for those who love the drive and the ride, who want their car to feel like home, like legacy, like craftsmanship wrapped in innovation. Neither car won, because they were never competing. They're just showing us 2 ways to reach the same destination, without ever burning a drop of gas. And in that, they both win. And as I walk away from both cars, something stayed with me. Not the speed, not the screens, not even the luxury. What lingered was a feeling. How differently each car made me feel behind the wheel. The Tesla Model S made me feel like I was part of a new world. It gave me this quiet, underlying sense that I was operating something bigger than a car. Like every time I touched the screen or engaged autopilot, I was contributing to a data-driven ecosystem. I wasn't just a driver. I was a user, a beta tester for the future of transportation. That's both exhilarating and, at times, a little alienating. It demands a kind of surrender to software, to code, to Elon's vision. And for a certain kind of driver, that's exactly what they want. The Tesla makes you feel like an innovator, like you're ahead of everyone else. It's fast, silent, and ever-changing, with updates that come over the air like magic. But it also asks you to compromise. No heads-up display, no tactile buttons, no real customization in the physical sense. The car assumes you don't want those things, and if you do, you're not the target. Tesla doesn't care much about tradition. It cares about progress. And if you're not on board, you're left behind. Then there's the BMW i7. Where Tesla felt like a glimpse of tomorrow, the i7 felt like a perfected version of today. Sitting in that cabin with soft lighting and glass controls, I didn't feel like I was testing something. I felt like everything had already been tested, refined, tuned, softened. The i7 speaks softly, but carries the weight of decades of engineering behind every line, every button, every corner it takes. Driving was a reminder of what luxury used to mean, and what it still can mean even in the electric age. Yes, it is tech, brilliant tech, but it doesn't brag about it. The i7 software doesn't scream, "Look at me." It just works. The voice assistant understands what you mean even when you mumble. The navigation doesn't just guide, it anticipates. The car knows when to switch modes, when to change the ambient lighting, when to suggest a rest stop. It's elegant intelligence, quiet confidence. And then there's something you can't measure in specs or torque or 0 to 60 times. Emotion. In the Tesla, I felt like I was racing time. Like everything needed to be fast, efficient, optimized. In the BMW, I felt like I had time, like the world could slow down, like the journey mattered more than the destination. By the end of it all, I had to ask myself a simple question. What kind of driver do I want to be? Do I want to be at the edge of innovation, always moving fast, trusting algorithms more than instincts? Or do I want to be surrounded by tradition, by touch, by craftsmanship, a driver who values how the steering wheel feels just as much as how smart the software is? There's no right answer. And maybe that's the point. Electric cars are no longer about just saving the planet or cutting emissions. They're about reimagining identity, personality, purpose. You're not just choosing between Tesla and BMW. You're choosing between philosophies. Do you want the future redefined by Silicon Valley or refined by Bavaria? As I gave back the keys, I smiled. Because no matter which direction you lean, one thing is clear. The future isn't coming. It's already here. And it's beautifully electric.